lot of times people ask me, Yogi True, so why are you fasting for 30 days? I tell people because for 335 days out of the year, I have a tendency to be pulled by my refrigerator. 30 days, I discipline my mind to get back to that, where the refrigerator doesn't pull me. So, and it's nice. It's a beautiful thing to bring yourself back into balance. Krishna tells Arjuna that if you're on these yogas, there is no possibility of one's becoming a yogi or Arjuna if one eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or does not sleep enough. Wow. I remember reading this as a teenager, just like, wow, this is so far out. I was fascinated. Wow, you can live a life where you don't overeat, don't undereat. And then you don't oversleep, you don't undersleep. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, Sadida avidya jal jajendra tahekal jive file vishaya sagare. Of all the senses, he's a yogi. He's trying to control his senses. And he says, of all the senses, the one that's given me the most problem, my dear Lord, is my tongue. He says, my tongue is the most voracious. It's like, he said, I can close my eyes. I can listen to transcendental sound. I can breathe in fresh incense, but my tongue doesn't want to be controlled that easily. If you're living in a developed country where food is easily accessible, we have a problem with this. We have a problem with this if you're living in an undeveloped country where food is a scarcity. So I have traveled, in my travels, I've been to places on the planet where food is a scarcity, and you see malnutrition at its peak, right? So we can see someone in that state will be hard for them to focus their mind, steady their mind, because the desire will just be to want to eat. Now, in a developed country where there is excess, right? We run into this problem of overeating. We have something in our house. I mean, because I grew up in a developing country, so when I grew up, we never had this object in our house until maybe I was like 12 years old. It came into our house. Does anyone know what is that? It became a culprit for overeating.
Refrigerator.
Thank you, Margaret. The refrigerator, right? Ever since, it's amazing. We have a refrigerator and it becomes a culprit for overeating. We have to then, our culture has evolved with a fridge. So now we have to use our mental strength to know when to not get pulled by what we put in there, right? The yogis understood we need food to nourish the body. But it gets to a point where we eat for our taste buds. In developed countries, we eat for, what's the phrase? Everyone in developed countries eat to live. But on top of that, we live to eat, right? So we have to put a more self-discipline in developed countries. And it's nice. It's a beautiful thing to bring yourself back into balance. And like I say, in India, if you're, I remember I got to India, right? And I got to Calcutta. And literally every 3 days in the yogic calendar is a festival. Festival means feasting. So here in Belize, I was just eating nuts because I didn't know how to cook, right? So I was just eating nuts and berries and fruits and water, 16 years old. There's no vegetarian restaurant in my country. So I had to just eat simple. And I got to Calcutta. Oh man. And literally all the feasting that was going on, I realized, Then my teacher, Kaka, said, after every feast, we should fast. So that kind of helped me to balance out. Because when I got to Calcutta, all the delicious food, I was like, wow, because moving from berries and nuts and seeds and to gulab jamun and halava and it was like, whoa. So my tongue was pulling me, but then I understood, after every feast, practice a fast. So that's how we balance out our voracious tongue. Once I got to the Himalayas, I got back to that austere lifestyle. But in the West, right? When I'm in the West, I'm practical. So, I'm with my wife. So one part of our relationship is food. So we eat together and like that. But, I still like to do this 130 days of discipline. So at home, and this is another thing. Krishna says, one who doesn't eat too little, one doesn't eat. Another thing is, the yogic mind doesn't sleep too little, doesn't sleep too much. If we overeat, or if you have a late meal, a late dinner, that will disturb our sleep dimension. But if you have a late meal and it's heavy, right? If it's a heavy, so if you have a late meal, do it light, right? As an adult, we want to get a nice 6 hours. Yes, if possible, 6 comfortable hours of sleep. Don't oversleep, don't undersleep. 6 to 7 should give us enough time to replenish the toxins in the body, right? So the type of food you eat, right? If it's that last meal, if it's mucus building, right? You have a lot of dairy in the nighttime and stuff like that. What will happen is you will get up congested, or you'll get up with extra mucus in the eyes, extra mucus on the tongue, right? But if you eat like a light food without dairy, and then you'll see the mucus comes out, but it's less, right? So it's amazing science. If you eat light, you will be able to get that deep sleep. If you eat a heavy meal, overeat at night, sleep becomes challenging. And so, just moderation. Everything we want to do in yoga, Krishna is teaching us, everything should be done in moderation. Not too much, not too little. And take advantage of your time when we go to sleep, because that's when we get to learn from the subtle dimension, the astral dimension. We get wisdom from the sleep. But if you are just can't listen, there's nowhere you can connect to the dreams, connect to the astral world. So if we eat in food in the mode of goodness and their light, our dreams, it will affect our type of dream patterns that will come up that night. So when you start catching your dreams, you should also check, what food did I eat the night before? Right? What was the last thing that I watched on TV the night before? So whatever information is going through the senses affects our mind. I think in our culture, right, a lot of emphasis is put on sleep today because we have an issue call. One of the many times when people call me up for private classes to help them with their mind is they're suffering from a disease called insomnia. So a lot of our fellow human brothers and sisters can't sleep at night because of the cultural experience they are in. One of the cultural experience we're in is the technological world, the digital world. So I like to tell students, if you want to help the insomnia, perform a little trata gazing, a little candle gazing for 10, 15 minutes before you go to sleep. And let that be the last thing you do. But today, unfortunately, people's last thing is not a candle gazing, it is a mobile phone gazing. It is a computer screen gazing. So we want to take sleep as something very precious. Look forward to sleeping. Look forward to, because the yogis understand, when we go to sleep, there's a moment, if you sleep for 6 hours, for 30 minutes, you're in a deep, deep space. We call that the night of Brahma. In that 30 minutes, you have the ability to make connection to the Lord in the heart every night. So we look forward to sleeping because we can go and make contact with the Lord in the heart. So if we just see sleep as something, yeah, I have a lot of work to do, I'm just going to sleep, then get up and do more work, we're missing the beauty that we're engineered with. We want to see it as a place, a sacred thing to do. Sleep is something sacred. And when we look at sleep like that, we will be able to prepare for it, right? If you want to do anything that's important, what do? We prepare for it, right? So in our culture, we're prepared. We're trained to prepare, right? Be prepared. Take a shower, get into clean clothing, right? And brush your teeth, right? That's how I'm trained in Belize. But then I think that's around the world. But then when I get to the yoga culture, plants and kalpas, do some meditation before. And then plants and kalpa, tonight, I want to catch my dreams. Tonight, I want to have these wisdom. I want to gain wisdom from something that I'm having questions about. Appreciate sleep. Appreciate your food. But know that there are qualities of eating. Know that there are qualities of sleeping. And as we're evolving with yogic consciousness, we want the quality of food to be at its peak. We want the quality of sleep to be at its peak, right? So try and eat in the evening time, try and eat food in the mode of goodness, yes? And not too much, not too heavy. And then you'll see, then you catch your dreams. Then it's like, oh, wow, I'm learning, I'm evolving. You see the joy, and there's a level of joy that comes from inside of us when we're able to control the tongue, use it in moderation, control our engineered process of sleep, right? Use it, and we use it in balance. There's a certain level of joy. You get up feeling refreshed.